What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be talking about some rumors and leaks regarding Modern Warfare 2 surrounding skill-based matchmaking and disbanding lobbies. Now, as I'm sure many of you guys that have been around the channel for a while know, I'm very passionate about these particular topics because I honestly feel the big change they made where they started disbanding lobbies in Modern Warfare 2019 while simultaneously introducing the most strict skill-based matchmaking or engagement-optimized matchmaking system we've ever seen in COD. I feel like these areas by far have had the largest impact on the player's experience with the Call of Duty franchise. Way more than any individual gameplay balancing decision or map design philosophy or spawns or anything like that, skill-based matchmaking and disbanding lobbies have had the biggest impact. Now for some, it's been a positive impact and they've been able to perform far better than they've ever been able to perform in Call of Duty because essentially they've been protected by this system. On the other hand, we have a ton of players, myself included, that hate the manipulative aspect of these systems, especially working in conjunction. Not only do we no longer have a purely connection-based organic experience where when you search for a lobby, you never know what you're gonna get, but on top of this, they also eliminated the player's choice to stay in the same lobby and play with and against the same people that they randomly ended up in a lobby with. This has massively impacted the sense of community that many people feel in Call of Duty. This has massively impacted the sense of community while playing Call of Duty. You no longer really make friends in Call of Duty lobbies like you used to in the past. Also, even if you're somebody that doesn't communicate on the mics or anything, and it's not about the social aspect so much, the disbanding lobbies have eliminated that feeling of developing rivalries and wanting to get that rematch the next game. Maybe you just barely lost the last one, you're going to change up your strategy a little bit to adapt to those specific players that you were playing against, and now you want another shot at it to see if you can adapt and overcome those players. All of that was eliminated with Modern Warfare 2019, and we haven't seen it return since. Now, having said all of this, it looks like we may be seeing some changes here, but I do want to be very clear, this is based on a leak, and I'm still not 100% sold on this source. I have seen this account on Twitter floating around for the past several months, and they're apparently sharing a bunch of leaks regarding Modern Warfare 2. Now, it may be the case that they actually have an inside source and all of these leaks are accurate, and I haven't really seen any red flags with this that makes me think that this is just some fan account with a wish list, which many quote-unquote leakers on Twitter are. But at the same time, I also haven't seen them really prove themselves to be a reliable leaker, so that's why I'm still a little bit skeptical of this account at this point, and I will be taking this with a grain of salt, but it's still a topic I wanted to share and discuss. Now, according to this account, yesterday they said, despite plans for revising Modern Warfare 2's skill-based matchmaking system, disbanding lobbies are supposedly here to stay for all future premium Call of Duty titles. So assuming this is true, it seems to be sort of a good news, bad news situation, or at least potentially good news, bad news situation. The potential for this being good news is somebody responded to this tweet and said, what does this revision to SBMM mean in practice, making it more or less restrictive? And Ralph's Valve's response to this was, yes, less debilitating. Demonware has had this particular system in R&D for a few years now, and they're certainly against the idea of quote-unquote disciplining the better margin players. So from the sounds of this at least, again, assuming it's accurate, it appears Demonware has recognized one of the biggest issues with the implementation of their engagement-optimized matchmaking system with Modern Warfare 2019, and this is, it made a lot of the higher-skilled players feel as though they were being alienated and essentially punished for being good players by having to play on a potentially higher ping, having longer matchmaking times, and straight up just having a significantly harder experience than the average to below average players with literally nothing to show for it because your skill rank is completely hidden and there's nothing that tells you if you're playing in a super high skill lobby or a super low skill lobby. So I'm really hoping this apparent revision that's coming to SBMM with Modern Warfare 2022 will do something to alleviate this issue and provide a little bit of something for everyone. Now, I do want to be very clear, I think some form of skill-based matchmaking is important. In fact, I think it's somewhat necessary for the health of the franchise and for the future of the franchise. I want this franchise to thrive long-term, and in order to do that, you have to make some concessions to help new players out so you can actually hook them into the game, instead of instantly pushing them away by immediately throwing them in a lobby with somebody that has 15 years of Call of Duty experience and doesn't allow them to get a single kill while they rack up 30 kills against this brand new player. Obviously, if you do that, there's going to be a pretty big barrier to entry coming into the Call of Duty franchise, which is designed to be a very accessible franchise. It's supposed to be the type of franchise that basically anybody can just pick up and play and have a good time with. At the same time, even though I want the franchise to be welcoming to new players and I want it to hook those new players in, this has to be balanced very carefully so that you still have a feeling of accomplishment. You still have that drive to want to improve at the game, and you should see results of your improvement over time. If you are getting better at the game, you should see that reflected in some way, whether that's your in-game score or some kind of in-game skill rank, which is much better suited to ranked play. There should be some sense of accomplishment and something to strive for long term, because that's also extremely important to the health of the franchise. This is where the depth and longevity comes in, where you're able to keep your players hooked long term because they're always working towards something. It's one thing to hook new players, it's another thing to make sure those players stick around for the next decade and want to continue playing in your franchise. And I'm really hoping, assuming we are seeing this new revision to skill-based matchmaking come this time around with this next Call of Duty game, I'm hoping that's been a big focus of what they're aiming for with this system. Provide a nice welcoming space for brand new players or lesser skilled players so that they can still enjoy themselves and they can get hooked into the franchise without taking away that sense of accomplishment or that sense of improvement that will keep players around and keep them wanting to improve long term. Now, of course, only time will tell when it comes to this. It could turn out that this is even worse than the previous system and it'll be a complete disaster and we'll absolutely hate it. We really won't know until we see what's going on with it. But at the very least, it's good to see that we're likely going to be seeing some kind of a change to the algorithm this time around, and we likely aren't going to be stuck with the current algorithm that they've been using for the past 3 years of Call of Duty. But that's just the skill-based matchmaking side of that tweet. The other side is apparently disbanding lobbies are here to stay. And this is the part that I still struggle to wrap my head around. How is this a good thing for the franchise? I'm sure they have some data on the back end that's showing them that it is good for the franchise, and it looks like many other franchises have been following suit with this, but I just can't see how this is so beneficial when it's almost universally hated. If you look at the replies and the quote tweets to this leak regarding disbanding lobbies being here to stay, almost every single comment is firmly against disbanding lobbies. I can't really think of anybody out there that loves disbanding lobbies and loves the fact that they don't have the option to stick with a lobby and instead they're forced to play a new lobby every single game. If players do like playing in a different lobby every game, with persistent lobbies, they have the option to do that. If they want to leave after every match and search for another game, they have full control over the ability to do that. Whereas with forced disbanding lobbies, they completely eliminate the choice for people that do want to stay in those lobbies. And that's the most frustrating part about this, is this objectively limits player choice. And that's generally not a good approach when it comes to gaming. Usually you want to give as much choice and control over the experience to the players so they can play the game the way they want to play the game. And by giving them that choice, presumably that would keep those players sticking around and playing longer. And this has been the experience for myself. Since they started disbanding lobbies, my playtime plummeted. Back when they had persistent lobbies, I would often stay in the same lobby for hours at a time because I just want another rematch against those same guys that I just played against, or I finally feel like I'm just starting to figure out how this one really good player on their team has started playing, and I found a good way to counter that player and shut them down to really help my team out. And that's the type of thing that would drive me to play just one more game, just one more game. I would constantly be saying that because I wanted to play just one more game against those same people or with those same people that I was just in a lobby with. Now, since the lobbies are forced to disband after every game, that feeling is completely gone. And now I basically just allocate how many matches I'm going to play. I play that number of matches and that's the end of it. I no longer really have that drive to play just one more game. And I've seen this exact same sort of sentiment echoed countless times in the community. So many people miss this and hate the fact that that choice was taken away from us. Now, anytime you mention disbanding lobbies, you're going to have the people that say you can't have disbanding lobbies because of the quick play filters, and that's simply not true. The two can coexist. All you have to do is make it so the quick play filters are a search filter, but once you get into a lobby with a particular game mode, then until you leave that lobby, it will always be that game mode. Now, in doing this, the players that want to stay in the lobby, they now have that choice to stay in the lobby, which we currently don't have. There's no choice. That's been taken away from us. And for those that want to re-roll and go through their search filters again, so they maybe potentially end up with a different game mode, they also have full control over this because all they have to do is leave after the match and search again. And now it's re-rolling that dice, and they may get a different one of the game modes that they have selected in their filters. That minor inconvenience of having to press a few buttons to leave a lobby after a game and search for a new one is, at least in my opinion, well worth it for giving every player the choice to play the game the way they want to play the game. If they want to stick in a lobby, they have that option. If they want to leave and search again, they also have that option. This is how it should be, but apparently this isn't how they're going to be handling it going forward. And this is extremely frustrating to me. I would love to see the data that apparently supports the fact that this is good and healthy for the game and the franchise as a whole. Because in my eyes, all this does is it limits the player's control over their experience while simultaneously destroying so much of the community aspect of the game. So I guess here's to hoping that once Xbox officially takes control over the franchise, we will end up seeing some changes to disbanding lobbies, because until then, it kind of seems like there's no hope in that changing. And with that, that's pretty much going to wrap it up for today's video, and this is where I want to hear from you guys in the comment section below. What do you guys think about this potential change to the skill-based matchmaking algorithm? Do you think this could be a very good thing or maybe a bad thing for the franchise? And also, what are your thoughts on disbanding lobbies? Are you like me and you absolutely despise the fact that we no longer have the ability to stay in a lobby and have a rematch against the people you were just playing with? Or are you somebody that's maybe indifferent to this? Or are you on the other end? Is this something you actually enjoy? Do you like the fact that they've taken that choice away from us and they now force us to play in a new lobby every single game? Just let me know all of those thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated. And don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.